Why your pension is not a retirement plan. Most people think having a pension means they're sorted. They're not. Here's the gap, and the numbers that matter. First, let's be clear about what a pension actually does. It is a tax-advantaged wrapper. Money goes in before income tax. It grows free of income tax and capital gains tax. It pays out when you reach access age. That is its full scope. It does not tell you if you are saving enough. It does not model how long your money needs to last. A pension is a vehicle, not a destination. The employer contribution trap. Auto-enrollment minimum is 8%, but that 8% applies only to qualifying earnings, which exclude the first £6,240. If you earn £50,000, only £43,760 is in scope, and most employers pay exactly the minimum. Many workers don't check their pension until their 40s, by which point compounding has had much less time to work. Here is the math. Minimum auto-enrollment on a £50,000 salary, invested over 30 years at 6% annual growth, produces approximately £277,000. At a 4% withdrawal rate, that gives you £11,080 per year. That is barely above the state pension and well below the moderate retirement standard of £31,300 per year. The PLSA retirement living standards give us concrete targets. Minimum retirement, basic needs, costs £14,400 per year for a single person. Moderate, some holidays, a car, a social life, costs £31,300. Comfortable, regular holidays, real financial flexibility, costs £43,100. All of these assume no mortgage. Which standard are you targeting, and are you on track for it? Subtract the state pension from your target, and you get the personal pot you need to build. For moderate single retirement, the total assets needed at a 4% withdrawal rate are £782,500. State pension at that same rate is worth roughly £287,550. That means your personal pot target is approximately £493,000. That is the number most people don't know. The state pension in 2025-26 is £11,502 per year, about £957 per month. You need 35 qualifying years of national insurance contributions to get the full amount. Access age is currently 66, rising to 67 by 2028 and likely 68 by 2044. After basic living costs, there is almost no margin for anything discretionary. It is a floor, not a foundation. What does a real retirement plan contain? 6 things. First, a target income. What monthly income do you need in retirement, in today's money, inflation adjusted? Second, a timeline. When do you stop working, and how long might your retirement last? Third, an income inventory. Every source. Pension, ISA, property, state pension, part-time work, inheritance. Fourth, a gap calculation, needed minus projected. Fifth, a contribution strategy, pension versus ISA split and fund choices. Sixth, a withdrawal strategy, which pots you draw from first and in what order to minimize tax. Pensions and ISAs work differently, and you need to understand both. Pension contributions get tax relief at your marginal rate going in, but withdrawals are taxed as income, with 25% available tax-free as a lump sum. ISA contributions get no tax relief, but withdrawals are completely free of tax, forever. Pension access age is 57, rising to 58. ISA can be accessed at any age. They are complementary tools, not alternatives. Who prioritizes what? Always maximize employer matching first. It is an immediate, guaranteed, 100% return that nothing else in finance comes close to matching. Beyond that, if you are a higher rate taxpayer, pension contributions give you 40% tax relief going in, and you will likely pay only 20% coming out, a built-in arbitrage. Basic rate taxpayers and people planning early retirement often benefit from putting more into ISA for the flexible access before pension age. The compound interest problem. Starting 10 years earlier roughly doubles the outcome, not because you contribute more, but because the money has more time to compound. The default life cycle fund at most pension providers starts de-risking, shifting from equities to bonds, 10 to 15 years before your target retirement date. For a 35-year-old, that means starting to de-risk at 50. If you plan to retire at 65, your fund may be far too conservative during what should be your highest growth years. Sequencing risk is the danger most people have never heard of. The size of your pot at retirement is only half the equation. What matters equally is the order in which markets perform in your early retirement years. If markets fall 30% in your first 3 years of withdrawals, you are forced to sell more units at lower prices to fund the same income. This permanently reduces your pot's ability to recover, even when markets bounce back. Sequence matters as much as average returns. The two-bucket strategy addresses sequencing risk directly. Keep 2 to 3 years of income in cash or short-duration bonds. This is bucket 1. Invest the rest for long-term growth. Bucket 2. In down markets, draw from bucket 1. Top it up when markets recover. This prevents forced selling at the worst possible moment. You never have to sell equities when they are down. If you are behind, and most people in their 30s and 40s are, here are the levers available. Increase contributions, even by 2% per year. Review your fund selection. Your default fund is likely far too conservative for your timeline. Use salary sacrifice if your employer offers it. Consolidate old dormant pensions into a low-cost SIPP. And consider whether delaying retirement by 2 years might close a larger gap than you think. Salary sacrifice is one of the most effective tax strategies available to employees, and most people have never used it. Instead of contributing from net pay, salary sacrifice reduces your gross salary, meaning you pay neither income tax nor national insurance on the contributed amount. For a basic rate taxpayer, the effective cost is around 32 pence in the pound instead of 80 pence of take-home pay. Your employer may also share their NI saving of 13.8%, which some pass on as additional pension contributions. Ask your HR or payroll team. Consolidating old pensions is simple and potentially worth thousands. The average UK worker has 11 different employers in a lifetime. Each may have left a dormant pension pot. Dormant pots continue to attract management fees of 0.5 to 1.5% per year. On a £50,000 pot at 1% per year, that is £500 annually, over £15,000 over 30 years in fees alone. Move them into a low-cost SIPP with a platform fee of 0.1 to 0.15%. 17. That is the number for one powerful reason. The average UK worker has 11 jobs in a lifetime, and each may have left behind a pension pot they've forgotten about. Use the government's pension tracing service to find them. They belong to you. They are sitting there being charged. Your action plan. Step 1. Find all your pension pots. Use the government tracing service. Step 2. Check your state pension entitlement at the government's check gateway. Step 3. Set a target income using the PLSA standards as a benchmark. Step 4. Calculate the gap. A financial planner can model this, or use the 4% rule as a starting point. Step 5. Increase contributions by at least 1 to 2% this year. Today, the mindset shift that makes all of this actionable. A pension is a vehicle. A retirement plan is the destination. Saying, I have a pension, is not the same as saying, I am prepared. The gap is almost always closable if you start now, but every year of delay makes the required monthly contribution higher. Clarity on the number removes anxiety. Vagueness creates it. Session complete. Know your number. Moderate single retirement needs roughly £493,000 in personal savings. Maximize employer matching first. Review your fund selection. Use salary sacrifice if available. Consolidate old pensions. Full article with all the tables and calculations at realsyllabus.com. Link in bio.